Hello friends, today we will discuss motion in a straight line. Motion in a straight line is also known as linear motion and translatory motion. Now when we talk about motion in a straight line, what does it mean? It means that the object is traveling along a straight line, that is, its path is just one dimensional. It is just going either forward or either coming backward. Like when we talk about this line, an object is placed here. This object has to travel on the straight line. It can either go forward or backward. This type of motion is known as motion in a straight line. Okay. Now we will talk about distance and displacement. Now we will talk about distance. Distance is the total length of the path covered when the body is moving. For example, on the straight line, if a body goes 20 meters right and then goes 10 meters to the left. Now when we talk about distance, as I told you earlier, it is the total distance covered. So how much distance did the particle cover or did the body cover? The body example. This is the body. First went 20 meters to its right. In this direction, 20 meters. Then from this point, it went 10 meters to its left. The total distance will be B is equal to D1 plus D2. That is equal to 20 plus 10. That is 30. So the total distance covered by the particle is 30. But when we talk about the displacement, now let's talk about displacement in the same scenario. Displacement is the distance between the final and the initial position of the body. Displacement also has a direction which distance didn't have. So the displacement in the above case will be, let's talk about. First it was at 0. The body was at 0. Origin. Let 0 be the origin. This it went 20 meters. So this point is 20. Then it came back 10 meters. So the displacement in this case will be equal to the final position, that is 10, minus the initial position, that is 0. So S is equal to 10 meters. Okay friends, now we will talk about different type of motion. Now first I would like to introduce you to the two more quantities that I'll discuss today. One is speed and other is velocity. Now first we'll talk about speed. What do you mean by speed? Speed is it is the distance traveled by a body in a unit time. The formula of speed is now speed has no direction. It only tells us with the magnitude of distance traveled in 1 second or per unit second. It has no direction. It does not tell us in which direction the body is going. For example, in a straight line, when we are talking, the speed of the particle is the total distance covered upon the total time taken. Its unit is meter upon time taken is t, is equal to meter upon second is equal to meter per second. So now there are different type of speed. We can classify speed in different types. Average speed. Average speed is the total distance upon total time taken. Now, when we talk about average speed, it is you can say that when a body is traveling with average speed of the given formula, then it can travel the total distance in the total given time. Then we have instantaneous speed. First, we'll talk about uniform speed. If an object covers equal distance in equal interval of time, if an object covers equal distance in equal interval of time, then it is said to be moving with uniform speed. V is equal to the distance traveled in any interval upon that interval. In uniform speed, V is always constant. Now speed gives us only the direction, only the speed, uh, only the movement, not the direction of movement. So for the direction, we define here one more thing, that is velocity. Now the velocity of an object is the quantity which gives us the speed of an object as well as its direction of motion. Now when I talk about speed, an object is traveling with a speed of 20 meter per second. So it can go in any direction with the speed of 20 meter per second. But when I talk about a body traveling with 20 meter per second in the left, then I'm specifying the speed as well as the direction. So that is the velocity. That is how we define velocity. Velocity can also be defined as the displacement per unit time. The velocity is equal to displacement upon time. Its unit is same as that of speed. Velocity and speed are having the same dimensions also. Now we will talk about average velocity. Average velocity is the total displacement divided by the total time taken. Average velocity can be defined mathematically as displacement displacement upon total time taken. There's one more quantity I would like to define, that is uniform velocity. Uniform velocity is defined when the velocity of the object does not changes as time passes. That means the speed of the object remains constant as well as the direction in which the object is moving. The direction of motion should also be constant and the speed should be constant. So there are these main two conditions for uniform velocity. One, direction. When these both quantities are constant, then an object is said to be traveling with uniform velocity. Speed is a scalar quantity, whereas velocity is a vector quantity.